Okay, so here's part 2. As I was saying, we broke from practice. I was heading up to my room with a friend of mine. She also lived in the same dorm as me. And the closer I got to my floor, the more that the feeling that something wasn't right intensified. I felt like, I don't know, something bad was going to happen. And then we got to my floor and we were passing my other friend's room, who she lived 2 doors down from me. Well, it was right at her door that the feeling felt the strongest. It was so intense. And so I knew whatever it was or whatever was going to happen, it was going to happen in her room. I didn't have the feeling that it was going to be her per se, but that her room was going to be involved in this event, whatever it was. Now I didn't mention it to my friend because, well, by this time I guess I had a bit of a reputation amongst them that I was a little different, I guess. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. But my friend wanted to talk to me privately because, again, she wanted to talk to me about this guy who she had this crush on, who I used to have a crush on him too. This was my sophomore year in college, and we all met in our freshman year. And my freshman year, I had this huge crush on him. But I stepped aside because, well, me being me, I would put other people before me. And so I didn't try to explore anything with him because I knew she liked him too. So, but by this time, you know, me and him were just really good friends. And I was dating someone else, like I said in my previous video. So we're in the hallway, and she was telling me about him and how messed up their relationship is and yada yada yada. And I'm listening to her, but I still could not shake this feeling. Now, like I said, it wasn't as intense as it was as when I was in front of my other friend's door, but it no less strong. And she just stopped and she looked at me and she's like, "Are you getting one of your feelings?" I was like, "What?" I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I'm getting this really strange vibe from you." I was like, "Vibe? What?" And she's like, "Well, I feel this tension coming off of you." And I was floored by that because I've never had anyone tell me that before. I didn't even know that was possible. And that's why I told her, what I felt and where I felt it the strongest and things like that. And turned out the next day I had this huge fight with one of our other friends in my friend's room. It was huge. It was loud and in the hall, and we're cursing and yelling and carrying on, and he was so melodramatic, and I tried to walk away from it and he wouldn't let me, and I went to go back into our friend's room and he threw himself against the door like, "No, we're going to talk about this now." People started coming out of their rooms, so they thought I was fighting him, and that was due to another incident that, based on another incident I had there where my freshman year I had a stalker, and culminated into a little bit of a violent event where I feared for my safety, and so he wouldn't leave, and I tried to call security and he wouldn't let me. So he had me pinned down, and I picked up a phone or whatever I could find, and well, no, he took the phone from me, but at one point he had me pinned on the floor, and I picked up my roommate's shoe and beat him with it. So someone came and got him. But yeah, people found out about that, so they thought I was in the hall beating up my friend. Yeah, one whole big thing. But anyways, after that event, I didn't have that feeling anymore, and this was the next day, and that feeling went into the next day until that event took place. Also, and these are things that how come I became known for having, I guess, feelings or whatever amongst my friends in college. one time we were coming from class, and me and my friend went to my room, and we keep our doors unlocked, so people come in and out. I guess I went in my room and I stepped in and I had to step back out. I couldn't go in. I could not go into the room. I felt oppression. I felt something weighing on me as soon as I stepped in there. And I told her, I said, I can't go in there. It feels like there was a fight, like there was a huge fight or something in here. I can't stay in here. And I've never had that happen to me before. So we went there, 2 doors down to my other friend's room. And later on that day, we found out that while we were in my friend's room, the guy who I actually had that altercation with came in, and he was like, yeah, him and our other friend, they got into a fight in the room, yada, 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 earlier that day. And they both just looked at me like, oh my God, you were not kidding. There were other things like I said, this friend, she had a crush on another of our friends who I also used to have a crush on in our freshman year. And this was he was the only person I felt this with, but I always knew, this is going to sound so strange, I always knew when they had sex. I felt sadness, like hurt. I felt hurt. And the first time I realized that was what happened when I felt that feeling was the next day she came and she told me, because this was her first time. She told me that she slept with him, it was her first time and all that. And subsequently, every other time, they didn't have sex all the time, they weren't like bunnies or anything, but subsequently, every time they did, I felt it. And now, they're not in my room. This wasn't happening in my room or anything like that. And I felt this pain and sadness inside. Sometimes almost like my heart was breaking. And I knew that's what it was, that they were having sex. And it was to the point where, because like I said, this was not an everyday thing for them or anything like that. It wasn't even like it was every week. It was a once in a while thing. And I would tell her before she told me, you and him had sex yesterday. How did you know? But, yeah. So I guess I became known for that amongst my friends, even to the point we were in our class, me and 2 of my other friends who, they both knew about these things that I would feel. And we were in modern condition class, which is one of our mandatory classes we had to take. I don't remember what the subject matter was per se, but the teacher brought up an example. He's like, he said, has anyone in this class ever been able to sense things like when they walk into a room and know that something happened, something violent happened, or a fight took place, or things like that? Now me, I ain't trying to let everybody know all this stuff, so I'm sitting there quiet, and my friends raised their hands and said, yeah, she has. I'm like, what? But yeah, so if anyone has anything to say or comment about this, or let me know what it is, please feel free. I don't really think I have these feelings anymore. Nowadays, whenever I just think something or I feel something bad is going to happen, or like I feel, okay, don't overlook that. You need to go over there and move that now. Or you need to go and do this. I just go and do it. Even though, nothing might happen or come from it, I go and do it. And that's it. I just follow whatever that instinct tells me right then and there. It's like, at that moment, I feel like, I'll pass by something on the floor. Or I'll get it later. No, you need to pick it up now. Something might happen, so I go and I do it. So I don't know, maybe if that's like a continuation of that or whatever, but as far as the tightness, things like that, I really don't get that sensation anymore. But yeah, let me know if anyone has any insight to this. I would really appreciate a little bit of feedback. Thanks.